There are football matches that fans remember for years. There are matches that define generations. And then there are matches so unbelievable, so shocking, that they become part of football history forever. July 8, 2014. FIFA World Cup. Brazil. More than 58,000 fans packed into Belo Horizonte's Mineirão Stadium. Millions more watched around the world. The host nation was just one match away from reaching the World Cup final. The dream was alive. The entire country believed destiny was on their side. But what happened over the next 90 minutes became the greatest humiliation ever witnessed on a football pitch. This is the story of Brazil 1, Germany 7. The darkest day in football history. Before we begin, subscribe to Football Frontier for more football documentaries, World Cup stories, and unforgettable moments from the beautiful game. Now let's go back to 2014. The World Cup was being played in Brazil. For Brazilians, football is more than a sport. It's a religion. A way of life. The pressure on the national team was enormous. The country hadn't won a World Cup since 2002. 12 years of waiting. 12 years of dreaming. And now they had the chance to lift the trophy on home soil. Something every Brazilian football fan desperately wanted to see. As the tournament progressed, Brazil kept finding ways to win. Sometimes convincingly. Sometimes narrowly. But they survived. And eventually reached the semifinals. Only one obstacle remained. Germany. A team known for discipline, organization, and ruthless efficiency. But even before kickoff, disaster struck. Brazil's biggest star, Neymar, suffered a serious injury in the quarterfinals. His tournament was over. The nation's hopes suddenly became much heavier. To make matters worse, captain Thiago Silva was suspended. Brazil would enter the biggest match of their lives without their leader and without their superstar. Still, the fans believed. The stadium was covered in yellow and green. Supporters sang with passion. Many carried Neymar shirts. Others held banners praying for victory. The atmosphere was electric. The dream felt alive. Then the match began. At first, everything seemed normal. The crowd was loud. The players were energized. Brazil looked ready for battle. But in the 11th minute, Germany struck. A corner kick found Thomas Müller completely unmarked inside the penalty area. He calmly scored. Germany won. Brazil 0. The stadium fell silent for a moment. But nobody panicked. There was still plenty of time. Brazil had come back before. The fans continued singing. They believed their team would respond. What happened next defied logic. In the 23rd minute, Germany scored again. Miroslav Klose found the net after a rebound. Germany 2. Brazil 0. Suddenly, concern began spreading through the stadium. Players looked nervous. Passes became rushed. The crowd sensed danger. Then came the moment football fans will never forget. The 24th minute. Germany scored. 3-0. Just 1 minute later. 4-0. The Brazilian players looked stunned. The fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. And Germany wasn't finished. In the 29th minute. 5-0. 5 goals. In less than 30 minutes. The entire football world was in shock. Commentators struggled to find words. Social media exploded. Fans around the globe stared at their screens in disbelief. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not to Brazil. Not at home. Not in a World Cup semi-final. Cameras began showing devastated supporters in the stands. Children crying. Parents holding their heads in disbelief. Fans staring blankly into the distance. Some couldn't even watch. Others simply left the stadium. The dream was dying before their eyes. Meanwhile, Germany remained relentless. Their passing was flawless. Their movement was perfect. Every attack looked dangerous. Every Brazilian mistake was punished. It wasn't just that Germany was playing well. It was that Brazil had completely fallen apart. The team looked lost, disorganized, emotionally shattered. The halftime whistle finally arrived. Germany 5. Brazil 0. One of the most unbelievable scorelines in football history. Inside homes across Brazil, silence replaced hope. People who had spent years dreaming about this moment now sat in disbelief. Some cried. Others simply stared at their televisions. Nobody could understand what was happening. The second half began. And somehow, things got even worse. Germany continued attacking. In the 69th minute, André Schürrle scored. 6-0. Then, in the 79th minute, he scored again. 7-0. 7 goals. Against Brazil. In Brazil. At the World Cup. It felt impossible. Even many German fans looked stunned. Some celebrated quietly. Others almost seemed uncomfortable. Because everyone understood they were witnessing something historic. Something painful. Something that would be remembered forever. Finally, in the 90th minute, Brazil scored a consolation goal through Oscar. The scoreboard now read 7-1. But nobody celebrated. The damage had already been done. Moments later, the final whistle blew. Germany 7. Brazil 1. The largest defeat in Brazil's World Cup history. One of the largest defeats ever suffered by a major football nation. The host nation's dream was over. But what made this loss so devastating wasn't just the score. It was what it represented. Brazil wasn't supposed to lose like this. Brazil was football royalty. The nation of Pelé. The nation of Ronaldo. The nation of beautiful football. And yet, on that night, they experienced their greatest humiliation. In the days that followed, newspapers called it a national tragedy. Experts analyzed every mistake. Fans searched for answers. How could a team with so much history collapse so completely? Even today, more than a decade later, people still ask the same question. And perhaps there is no simple answer. Maybe it was pressure. Maybe it was panic. Maybe it was the absence of key players. Or maybe Germany simply produced one of the greatest performances football has ever seen. Whatever the reason, one thing is certain. July 8, 2014 changed football forever. The match became known around the world simply as the 7-1. No explanation needed. Every football fan knows exactly what those numbers mean. They represent heartbreak, shock, disbelief, and one unforgettable night when the impossible became reality. The darkest day in football history. But football has a funny way of moving forward. Brazil eventually rebuilt. New generations emerged. New dreams were born. Because no matter how painful defeat may be, football always offers another chance. And perhaps one day, Brazil will write a new chapter that finally erases the memory of that terrible night. But until then, the score remains etched into football history forever. Brazil 1. Germany 7. A result the world will never forget. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more incredible football stories. And tell us in the comments. Where were you when Brazil lost 7-1 to Germany? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.